Wander Thoresby and meeting Dr. Ben Bedwell for the first time gave us the opportunity to start talking about the heritage and the history of the courtyard, of the family, and of a wonderful estate, something we hadn't really done before. The Pierrepont collection seemed to be the best thing that we could have for the spearhead of our visitor attraction.
The collection consists of 700 paintings which were produced by Mary Louise Roosevelt Pierrepont, who was Countess Manvers. She liked painting the locality, she liked painting scenes and people who lived here. She especially enjoyed painting scenes of Thoresby Park and recorded some finer detail of life and work in Thoresby Park.
We did have a permanent space which we exhibited some of the pictures, but it wasn't interpreted in the correct way, and it certainly wasn't introducing you to Thoresby and the history of the estate.
So the project was all about using mobile technologies, so smartphones with GPS, to allow people to walk around the estate, explore the place, but as they're walking around and as they walk into areas of significance, points where maybe the Countess painted these paintings, to find that on their phones. So not to see paper paintings, but to actually get digital content on their phones when they walk into a location.
I think it's really successful because it brought the paintings out from the storeroom or from the traditional gallery setting and brought them into a technological sphere where people who use new technologies could experience the collection and they could relate it to areas of the park where the paintings were actually produced.
We ended up creating essentially a tour as if you were walking with the Countess. We called it In the Footsteps of Countess Manvers. We took the gallery and made an exhibit itself out of the traces people were leaving as they walked around. So there was a nice wall-sized map, and as people walked around with the app, you could see their traces appear. So it was an organic, living thing, really. I think people really enjoyed seeing where other visitors had walked.
I know we had concerns, certainly, when we started the project about certain age groups or certain people not being able to access the mobile phones in the first place, but actually we found that the constraints on the technology were even more difficult to manage, really. So I think everyone's engaged with it fully, different ages, different people, and now we've got to see how we can do that better, really.
Traditionally, I've done this in a number of different ways. I usually, as a piece of research, walk around with a camcorder and ask people questions as they're doing it. But that's quite invasive. You can imagine the person on the other side not having a normal experience walking around. So we used some other new kit. We had some, I call them my spy glasses, so I walked around with glasses with a little camcorder in them, so I can have a face-to-face conversation as if I'm just wearing a pair of glasses, and that's quite natural. But we also asked people to donate content back at various points. So as they're walking around, if they have some memories of the estate, and lots of the visitors do, they're people who have come back time and time again, we asked them to think as they walked around about their memories, and when they came back to the exhibition, to pin that up on the same map. So we'd have a mixture of kind of nice technological projected GPS traces, but at the same time handwritten record cards and handwritten or printed out photos that people had taken as they walked around. I think collectively we've started to learn that you can't just build an all singing, all dancing technological application and expect the run-of-the-mill visitor to understand that and get value from it. So we've had to branch out and bring in geocaching and bring in the paper maps and compasses and build a traditional exhibition alongside this digital trail.
We have far more stories that we can tell in the constraints of the space. So I think hopefully what we'll be doing is looking at ways that visitors can interact with the history and interact with the culture here, but knowing that can't solely be done through mobile apps. The project in itself was absolutely fabulous. It was amazing that we engaged. It started new initiatives from us about seeing our heritage as the way forward and as the forefront of the visitor attraction. The challenges we have with the mobile apps we would just have to overcome and look at more creative ways of working.
The project was always a way of getting at a new audience, but that audience isn't going to change for some time. I think we want to build something that is inclusive. So mobile phones will be there, but we'll start looking at other technologies as well.